Good evening, and welcome to the Boys from the Baltic Star. When it's Friday and all three of us are together, we play Traveller, but we don't have all three of us together this evening. So you're stuck with just Ewan and myself, and we're going to play some fighting fantasy game book stuff. So, good evening, Ewan. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Ben. Very well. Very much excited about some more fighting fantasy and the opportunity of an early bedtime.
It's going to be brilliant. I'm sure nothing can
Yeah,
possibly go wrong. We're definitely going to be the pick of the bunch, shall we say?
indeed. Of course, if it gets to 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and we're still here, I'll be ecstatic. But history tells us that that may not be the case.
You think
Hmm,
there's just a chance, you reckon, that maybe we'll be doomed a little bit before then?
possibly.
Yeah,
We'll see.
well,
Well, who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
these things sometimes happen to us. In fact, they almost always happen to us. But we'll give it a shot. So tonight we are playing The Dungeon on Blood Island. This is an Ian Livingstone book, and it's the newest, I think, still, of the fighting fantasy books ever published. It is very exciting, and we failed not as dismally as sometimes. We did fail, but not catastrophically on our first playthrough. So, but I think we got eaten by a dinosaur.
Which, when you put it like that, does seem somewhat catastrophic. But in the grand scheme of things,
It's not as bad as
I think it
some of our
wasn't too bad.
failures, let's be honest.
Yeah,
We,
yeah,
we,
yeah.
we've had worse failures than that. Being eaten by a dinosaur seems like a pretty reasonable way to go in terms of our usual performance.
Very true. Very true.
So, we need to begin by rolling up some character stats. So, for us, we need to roll 1d6 plus 6 for our skill. Okay.
Always the exciting one, I think. First roll as well.
Yeah.
Hmm. A very mediocre 3 plus
I got the
6 for
same.
9, but not,
So a total of 9. Yeah. Could be
not
worse.
too bad.
Yeah. And then stamina 2d6 plus 12. Okay.
Mine will be a 10, which feels good.
I rolled an 8, so I get a total of 20,
Very nice.
which, could be worse. And then for luck, 1d6 plus 6. Oh, that's a bit more like it. That's a 5.
Mine will be a 1,
Oh, okay.
which seems very unlucky.
It does seem quite unlucky, but the good news is most of our luck will be down to our decision making. And okay, so we're going to be doomed, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, all of those stats look great when you take them in that form as they are.
Yes, yes. Um, so, how to test your luck using luck in battles. This is all fairly standard. Stamina and provisions. We start the game with 10 provisions.
Ooh.
And we can take a magic potion. So before we decide on a magic potion, we need to do the awful bit and knock off 4 points from our stats.
Hmm.
Well,
Sorry, Ben, am I right in thinking that a provision adds 4 to your stamina?
it does indeed,
Not
yes.
maximum.
A provision is worth 4 stamina. Um, Now, in this game book, luck doesn't add one to your initial luck roll on a
Oh,
potion, so you just get back to your initial level. But you can have a potion of skill or stamina or luck. So I'm going to keep my 9 skill because that's as low as I want it to be.
that feels reasonable.
I'm going to keep my 11 luck. And I'm going to take all of my 4 off stamina, which drops me to 16,
Ooh,
which isn't great. I mean, it really isn't great, but it could be worse.
that is true. That is true.
Now, it does say that we get some... that we can have gold on the thing, but I can't see if it tells us how much gold we get. I'm therefore going to take a potion of luck. Or should I do that? No, I'm going to take a potion of skill. I never do that.
That is true. We rarely take skill potions because we're such skillful people, obviously.
But I'm going to trust that my luck of 11, if I can pick up a bit of luck here and there, might stay around. I've got provisions for stamina, and if my skill takes a hit, as they sometimes do, I want to protect it.
Yeah, that's a good call. We have often been in the situation where our skill has been reduced and we've been in trouble. Frankly.
Yes.
I'm with you with the 9 on skill. I feel that's a reasonable starting place. And I'm in 2 minds as to whether I should dump everything out of luck and just throw caution to the wind and care not whether I'm lucky or not, or to split it between luck and stamina. And I think I'm gonna take 1 from my luck to take it to a 6, and 3 from my stamina to go to a 19. And leave my 9 skill.
Yes.
Feels okay. I don't like that my luck is below the minimum that you could possibly roll. but here I am. And I think given that situation, I am for once going to take the potion of luck, which is the one that I normally don't take, even if it adds 1 to your...
and on this occasion, even though it doesn't add 1 to your initial, you're still taking it.
Yeah. Almost despite the game.
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Right. Well, that appears to be it. There is a space for gold, but I don't see it tell us how much gold we get, if any. So I'm going to assume we don't get any to start with.
That makes sense.
Right. So, we have a bit of a background introduction to go through. So, the fame and glory that Deathtrap Dungeon had brought Baron Succumbit was something his brother, Lord Carnus, just couldn't bear. People were in awe of the Baron, and never stopped talking about his annual dungeon contest in Fang and the heroes who died trying to win the prize of 10,000 gold pieces. Lord Carnus even sent his own battle-hardened champion to compete in the Trial of Champions, but he died a gruesome death along with everyone else. One year, a brave adventurer unexpectedly won through, so Baron Succumbit rebuilt his dungeon and doubled the prize to 20,000 gold pieces, which simply added to its notoriety. Whenever Deathtrap Dungeon came up in conversation, Lord Carnus would fly into a rage, cursing his brother's name out loud. Over time, his jealousy turned into hatred. To upstage Succumbit, Carnus decided to build a dungeon of his own on Blood Island, where he ruled, and offer an even greater prize to the victor. That prize would be the golden orb of Fang, which he'd won from his brother in a dice game many years before. The orb's value was difficult to estimate, but some say that, at auction in Shazar, a bid of 25,000 gold pieces for such a legendary treasure would be the minimum expected. Karnas revelled in the idea of offering a reward that was once his brother's prized possession. His plan was to hide the orb deep inside the dungeon and protect it with deadly traps and ferocious monsters. He was certain the orb would never be found. His message to contestants would be simple. Find the orb, escape from the dungeon, and the prize would be theirs to keep. Karnas built his dungeon by linking the underground caverns on Blood Island with a labyrinth of tunnels. Work began in secret, using an army of slaves. It took less than a year to build, but at a cost of nearly 600 shackled souls. It was finished in time for the grand opening on the 31st day of fire, just weeks before Baron Succumvit's trial of champions took place in his reconstructed Death Trap dungeon. Knowing his brother would be incensed by the news, Karnas sent a personal message to him, inviting him to enter a champion of his own to try to win back his precious orb, or to just come as his guest to watch the greatest winner-takes-all tournament in Alancia. Outraged by his brother's attempt to usurp him by offering the orb as a prize, Succumvit sent the messenger back to Blood Island with an exceptionally rude note, written in blood, stuffed in the mouth of a dead rat. Amused and encouraged, Karnas sent word to all the towns in Alancia to announce that his dungeon on Blood Island would be open to all comers to win the golden orb. He chartered a fleet of boats to ferry contestants and spectators to the island from the mainland. He built taverns and rooms for spectators close to the arena of death where the contest would begin. News of the contest spread quickly. It soon became the talking point in every tavern and market square in Alancia. Adventurers, warriors, and villains from far and wide bragged that they would go to Blood Island to win the golden orb. You hear about the tournament on Blood Island from a merchant in Scar, where you've come to sell a bronze sword that you found on an expedition to Kalong Marshes. With 5 gold pieces from its sale in your pocket, there we go, 5 gold pieces.
That's the one.
Excellent stuff. 5 gold pieces. You are thinking about travelling to Fang to sign up for the Trial of Champions, but are intrigued by the new dungeon challenge on Blood Island. You walk down to the port where you see a crowd of people gathered in front of a small ship moored at the dock. The ship's captain is addressing the crowd, which is becoming increasingly noisy. This afternoon we sail to Blood Island, where only the bravest warriors will compete for the orb, he bellows. All you have to do to enter the contest to win Lord Karnas's golden orb is step aboard my ship and sign up. And those of you who just wish to watch the contest, step on board and sail with us. Winning a prize worth 25,000 gold pieces seems unimaginable, and it's a challenge you cannot resist. Without further thought, you raise your arm and push your way through the crowd to walk up the gangplank to sign up for the contest. You are followed on board by a ruddy-faced dwarf, who also signs up to take the challenge. The captain shakes your hand firmly before welcoming more than 50 passengers aboard, who want to witness the spectacle for themselves. When the ship sets sail, all the passengers talk about is the dungeon and its monsters, and whether any of the contestants would survive. The dwarf introduces himself to you as Thump, and gives you a soft punch on the arm to emphasise his name. He's a stout man with a long beard and a studded iron helmet pulled down over his big, bushy eyebrows. He's wearing a leather tunic and is holding a huge warhammer with a handle that is almost as long as he is. He tells you he comes from Stonebridge, a village that was almost destroyed by marauding iron giants. He says that if he won the golden orb, he would pay for Stonebridge to be rebuilt. He spends the voyage telling you tales of his many adventures, most of which seem wildly exaggerated. When you question him about his claim that he once killed a dragon with his bare hands, he leans back and roars. Well, maybe not entirely bare-handed, but why spoil a good story with the truth? Thump is a jovial, larger-than-life character, and you can't help but like him. But it does feel slightly strange knowing that you'll soon be competing with him for the golden orb. Calm seas, a following wind and sunny skies make for a pleasant voyage, and when Blood Island is spotted on the horizon, a loud cheer erupts on board. As the ship sails into the harbour, you see a large crowd of people waving from the dock, eager to see the new contestants. There's a carnival atmosphere with people laughing and cheering, trumpets blaring and drums beating loudly. Standing quietly, surveilling the scene from a wooden platform set back from the crowded dock, is a tall, stocky man wearing an elaborate headpiece and long purple robes filled out with huge shoulder pads. He seems to be quietly enjoying the moment. He is surrounded by stern-faced guards, who push back anybody who tries to get too close to the platform. A trumpet sounds, and when he raises his arms, the crowd falls silent. The ship's captain orders Ewan Thump to follow him off the ship and walk through the crowd to the platform, where the captain bows to the robed man. "Lord Carnus, I bring you 2 more contestants," he says sharply. The robed man thanks the captain and glares at Ewan Thump before turning to address the throng. "Citizens and honoured guests, I have good news to share with you. We now have 120 contestants ready to compete. I wonder which one, if any, will triumph," he says, teasing the cheering crowd. He snaps his finger at a guard and growls, "Feed and water these 2 wretches. They will need all their strength for the contest tomorrow." You are taken to a camp where groups of contestants are huddled together talking. Some are practicing their weapon skills, others are asleep, arms folded, leaning back against wooden cabins. They are a grisly mix of warriors, barbarians, knights, thieves, ninjas, dwarfs, elves, man-orcs, pirates, adventurers and thugs, who stare at you coldly as you walk into camp. Thump whispers in your ear, suggesting that the 2 of you should stick together, at least until the tournament starts. You spend the rest of the afternoon exercising and sharpening your sword. Thump swings his warhammer around his head and smashes it into the ground, practicing the move many times. "I think I'll use my warhammer to fight the next dragon I meet," he says with a wink. When the sun starts to go down, you are led to long wooden tables that are piled high with bowls of food. You sit down to a feast of vegetable soup, spit roast chicken, grilled fish, cheese, fruit and honey. "Enjoy your dinner," a guard shouts out. "It will probably be your last." After the meal, you're taken to a log cabin which you share with 9 others, and told that you will be woken at sunrise to receive further instructions. A bell tolls at dawn, and Carnus's guards barge into your cabin, yelling at everybody to get up. When all the contestants are assembled outside, Lord Carnus enters the camp and walks slowly up the steps of a small rostrum to address you. "Welcome. Today is your day of destiny. Look around at your fellow contestants. Do they look stronger than you? Do they look quicker than you? Do they look smarter than you? Do you think you could defeat them in combat? As you can see, there are 120 contestants, all of you hoping to win the golden orb. Do you think that 120 contestants are too many to enter my dungeon? If you do, well, you're right. You will be escorted to the arena of death, where an elimination contest will take place. You will compete against one another until just 12 contestants remain, who will have earned the right to enter my dungeon. I call it my Dungeon of Despair. It is filled with deadly creatures, lethal traps, and horrific surprises," he says with a beaming smile. "Of the final 12, 11 will most likely perish in the dungeon, and perhaps all 12. But, with good fortune, wise decision-making, and skillful combat, one of you might win through to claim the golden orb as your prize today. Be brave and be strong. May your swords be sharp and your wits sharper." With his solemn words ringing in your ears, you watch Lord Carnus leave the camp with his entourage following at a respectful distance. And then we turn over to Section 1. You are marched into the Arena of Death, which is a high-walled amphitheatre with a sand-covered floor. and a bank of spectator seats circling the arena wall. With the spectator seats empty, an eerie silence prevails. The captain of the guard orders you to line up in 12 columns of 10. You will do everything I tell you to do. Stand to attention, and do not move until Lord Carnus is seated, he shouts, barking out his orders. Without another word, he turns and leaves the arena. The hours pass, but Lord Carnus fails to appear. By mid-afternoon, the sun is unbearably hot, and you see that you are not the only one who's suffering in the heat. All the contestants are perspiring heavily, and some are swaying on their feet. You glance to your left and see Thump, who's grimacing but looking determined not to fall. You have a splitting headache, your mouth is bone dry, and you're desperate to quench your thirst. Lose 1 stamina point. Wow. Okay. Lose 1 stamina point. That's awful. Okay. I've lost a stamina point. I'm down to 15. If you want to take a sip of water from your flask, turn to 56, and if you want to remain standing to attention, turn to 323. So, our first actual decision. We've obviously been ordered to remain at attention, but a sip from the flask might restore stamina. Mind you, we've only taken 1 stamina point. It's not critical yet.
No, I feel as though this feels like a test, as it were.
Yeah, it does. And the question is it a test of obedience or a test of independence?
That is true.
I don't know. What do you reckon?
My gut instinct says to not change from what we're doing at
Fair
present,
enough.
and to not take a sip. But,
Well, I think that's reasonable. Let's remain standing to attention. I mean, eventually,
You
if they're
still-
going to have their fun, eventually they're going to have to come and get us, aren't they?
yeah, I mean, if you have to read this 14 times, then I'll start to second guess my decision. I'd like to think after 10, but you know.
Yeah. Okay. So we will remain standing to attention and turn to 323. Time passes slowly in the blistering heat, which is draining your energy. Lose 1 stamina point. Okay. This is going brilliantly. All you can think about is having a long drink of cold water. You feel dizzy and dehydrated, but manage to stay on your feet without moving. Turn to 141. Okay. The spectators are finally allowed into the arena late in the afternoon. They cheer the contestants, some of whom look as though they're about to pass out from heat exhaustion. By the time the arena is full, 10 contestants are lying face down in the sand. A trumpet fanfare blasts out to signal the arrival of Lord Carnus. The spectators stand to applaud him as he takes his place on his ornate throne, while the unconscious contestants are dragged out of the arena, their contest over before it has even begun. Carnus raises his arms to silence the trumpet and acknowledge the crowd. Standing next to Carnus is a tall, mean-faced officer in a red uniform who steps forward to address the contestants, with his sword raised in the air. "Thank you for your patience," he says insincerely. "You may now drink water." You do so eagerly. Add a stamina point. Okay, we get a stamina point back. That could be worse.
It seems fair.
Yep, I'm back up to 15. Loads of stamina. Not really. As you've been informed by Lord Carnus, only 12 of you will enter the Dungeon of Despair. 10 contestants have been eliminated already, and another 98 are about to be eliminated in a qualifying tournament. The first round is called Bullseye, and you will need a partner for this contest. Choose one now. With no information to go on, you look at the people closest to you. If you want to team up with Thump, turn to 291. If you want to choose the High Elf, turn to 47, and if you want to choose the Pirate, turn to 361. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. It's tough. We've got nothing to go on, as you say. As the book says. But I do quite like Thump. It's obviously quite the charismatic
Yeah,
dwarf.
he is, and I think it's not knowing the details or how it will play out in terms of gameplay. You need a partner for this, but I don't know if we're supposed to eliminate each other or if we're supposed to.
That's true.
Is this a way of halving the number, so to speak, or is this? Because if it's a way of halving the numbers, I'd be tempted to choose the Pirate so that Thump makes it through to the next round.
Makes sense.
But if it's actually a team game where we're supposed to work together, I'd rather have Thump. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. And I fully appreciate it now, especially with the bullseye. Seems very like it could be a one of you goes through, one of you doesn't type game. But then it could not be. It's hard to say. Shall we cut our losses and let the chips fall where they may, as it were, and not choose Thump?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
It's out of my hands.
If it's going to be a head-to-head thing, then the Pirate looks less threatening to me than a High Elf. I don't know what magic or whatever a High Elf might bring.
Unless, of course, it's a High Elf Pirate, in which case...
Well, then, yeah.
We're doubly doomed. But
yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a go at the Pirate. We will choose the Pirate and turn to 361. When all the contestants have teamed up with their partners, the officer announces with gusto, "Bullseye is an archery contest. I hope you've chosen wisely because the targets for this contest are the contestants." He sniggers, hardly able to contain himself. The spectators gasp in shock. The Pirate shakes his head and looks at you. "Bah, give me a cutlass any day," he says despondently in a heavy accent. "I've never fired a bow and arrow in my life, and I'm not going to start now. I'm quitting. Good luck to you. I hope you make it through." He walks over to a guard who leads him unceremoniously out of the arena. There is a huge roar from the spectators when a trumpet blasts out a sharp note, followed by the eerie whooshing sound of arrows flying across the arena, many of them hitting their targets. There are gasps from the crowd as contestants fall to the ground, clutching the arrows lodged in their torsos. Listening to the groans of the injured contestants, you're pleased to have missed this round. You scan the survivors and see Thump standing, hands on hips, with a big grin on his face. The trumpet blasts out again, and the officer instructs the remaining contestants to line up against the wall opposite him, while the injured are led out and the dead are dragged from the arena. You walk over to Thump and ask him what happened. "I never learned how to use a bow and arrow, so I figured that if I aimed to miss the thug, I would be more likely to hit him. And I did," he says, roaring with laughter. The officer looks along the line of contestants and says without any emotion in his voice, "By my count, there are 48 contestants left in the tournament. Lord Carnus requires that number to be reduced to 12 within the hour. It is time to choose partners for the next contest. Do it now." You agree with Thump's suggestion to split up, at least for now. If you want to choose the thief on your left, turn to 98. If you want to choose the ninja on your right, 184.
Ooh. We're covering all the characters.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So we have basically the only choice we get to do, not knowing the details of the contest, is either a thief or a ninja.
Yeah, we don't even have a name this time, do we?
No.
Yeah. Well. Tough decision.
What do you think?
I mean, I would hasten to say that we're not going to have to steal something in the competition,
True.
but whether it's the same as last time and it's one of you will leave and one of you will remain competition or not is remains to be seen.
Um, yes, and if they want to eliminate people like that, then well, again, we've been told to pick a partner, so it seems reasonable that one of the partner is going to be eliminated. So, thief or ninja? The thing is, there's not that much difference between a thief and a ninja.
The
They're,
basic skill set feels
yeah,
the same.
they're quick and lithe. The only difference, I suppose, is a ninja's more assassiny and a thief's more thievery.
Mm,
But
yeah,
they have the same, you know, most things. So, yeah, I don't know. Um, I get this is just the way my mind works, but I think that Ian Livingstone would think we'd pick the thief because we'd be more
so
scared of a ninja.
yeah, possibly, and so we should pick the ninja.
So
Is
we
that what
should
you're
pick the
saying?
ninja. But maybe
Okay,
that's what
I
he
can.
thinks we'll think, and therefore we
Uh,
should pick the thief.
Indeed.
This is slowly going to turn into a scene from The Princess Bride, isn't it? Um, um, let's try the ninja. I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen, but let's give it a shot, yeah?
I mean, as you say, they're very similar. So
Yeah. Let's have a go at the ninja. 184. We'll have a go at ninja. This could be a great idea or a terrible idea, but we'll have a go at a ninja.
oh, that's good. Sparrows is ninja as well. I was worried. I read that he'd said he'll pick for us, and
Aha.
I thought you were going to get there before
You
before the
stand
pick came
opposite
in.
the ninja, who looks at you with piercing eyes, which is all you can see of his masked face. The gates open and an ox-drawn cart piled high with large iron balls rolls slowly into the arena. The officer instructs everybody to take an iron ball from the cart and stand holding it above their head opposite their partner. The iron ball is very heavy and you have difficulty lifting it. The ninja shows surprising strength in deftly lifting the iron ball above his head. Your arms soon start to shake under the weight of the ball. The crowd cheers as balls begin to drop onto the ground all around the arena with a dull thud, and the eliminated contestants are led away by the guards. The muscles in your arms start to burn and you wonder how much longer you can last. Lose 2 stamina points.
Oh,
Okay. I'm suddenly hoping we don't get tested on our stamina level.
mm.
With his arms held rigid in the air, the ninja shows no sign of buckling under the weight of the ball. Roll 2 dice. If the total is higher than the ninja's skill score of 6, turn to 22. If it's 6 or less, 166. Okay. Off you go, Ewan. Roll 2 dice for us.
Oh.
Or actually, if we're rolling 2 dice, let's roll 1 each
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
and see what it comes to.
It's a lot of pressure very early on.
A lot of pressure, because we don't
And
really know what the thing's going to be, do we?
no, that's true.
Okay.
It's a 4 on my part.
And I've rolled a 2,
Ooh.
which means the total is 6, and if the total is 6 or less, we turn to 166. Okay. 166. You begin to lose your grip on the iron ball, and much to the delight of your opponent and the cheering crowd, there is nothing you can do but let it drop to the ground. A guard grabs your arm and leads you out of the arena. You can't believe you're out of the contest so soon. Your adventure is over.
Wow, Ian.
Wow.
I mean, we didn't die,
You're absolutely right. We didn't die.
which feels like a positive. Wow.
Okay. So basically, I've managed to lose 3 stamina points net
Yeah, me too.
and fail out without ever achieving anything.
I mean, we've got the 5 gold, I suppose, and a potion of
And a
whatever it
potion
is
of
we
skill.
chose.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't use any provisions.
We
That's
didn't spend any
still got
money.
those to our name.
Yeah. And completely uninjured, I suppose we could come back and have another go the following year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all in all, at least we were led off. We weren't slaughtered. We didn't die in the dungeon.
It's
This feels
true.
like a, if you
Yeah.
can't pass this test, you're probably going to die anyway, kind of scenario.
Yes.
So, silver lining, maybe.
Yeah, I just can't shake the feeling that last time we did in fact make it into the dungeon and were then eaten by a dinosaur.
Mm.
So we're doing. I'm not sure if
Worse?
that's better or worse.
Oh, yeah, actually, it is debatable, isn't it? Yeah, for sure.
Is it better to get further but be eaten, or is it better to fail early and survive?
I suppose it depends on what your end goal is, really. If your end goal is gold, then it's probably on par. If you,
Yeah.
if your end goal is adventure and tales of glory, then we're probably doing worse.
Yeah, it's. I
And if
suppose.
the end goal is just making it out alive, then we're doing way better.
Yes, that's true, and we would be well suited to avoid where possible
Mm.
the most dangerous parts of the dungeon, which to be fair we did. We
I
we
do,
we,
yeah,
we failed at
spectacular.
the holding heavy weights above our head part of the dungeon.
Yeah, which, to be fair, probably would be a similar test at some point in the dungeon,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And when you think about it, we've had a nice holiday on a warm tropical island with free
True.
food, free transport,
Free bedding for the night.
free bed for the night, and we're not dead.
Yeah.
And there's
We
every
now get to
chance that
watch,
we can probably
presumably.
go and watch the rest of the contest.
Ooh, yeah, exactly. What a grand old time we're having.
Yeah, it's a fabulous summer holiday for us. What I am slightly confused about is once the actual adventure goes into the dungeon,
Mm.
and I'm thinking about this as well in terms of Death Trap Dungeon and Trial of Champions, is how do the spectators get to still enjoy the process once everybody's
Mm.
gone inside the dungeon? Because they can't see them or see what they're doing.
Well, if that, I mean, I suppose the only way to see them would potentially be from above, unless all the dungeon walls are made of glass, which I'm assuming they're not. And at that point, if it's an open air dungeon, surely that's a labyrinth.
Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, did you see the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
I did, yes, I did. It
They
was a
they
while
had
ago,
a
but
sort
I
of
did.
Trial of Champions thing in an arena, and they did it with these moving blocks that meant that the spectators could look at least into some parts of the maze.
Mm.
Um, Also, they did have a little scene of 2 rust monsters fighting over an old padlock, which I thought was delightful.
Yes, yes, indeed. And the gelatinous cube, I thought was quite nice, just for those D&D films feels.
Yes,
Is
Sparrow,
that the
I'm
right section?
afraid I think the last time we tried this one, we made it some way in and then died digestively um, at the hands of a very dangerous dinosaur creature, which I seem to remember being cruelly high in stats when we were already struggling a bit.
Mm. Yes.
Yes, I think that's right, Sparrow. I think the cursed mirror was in this one. I think that's true.
See, the problem with the dinosaur was that if we'd have had to beat it in a holding a heavy rock above your heads competition, we surely would have won because short arms. So
I think that's right. Yes.
that would have been a nice matchup. But
Yeah.
alas, we actually had to fight the thing, I believe.
Yes. Yes. And I'm pretty sure it then ate us.
Mm.
But I mean, to be fair, eaten by dinosaur is a pretty legendary way to go out.
If you're gonna go,
Yeah. Yeah. It could be worse, right? It could technically be worse.
definitely.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think we have to say our apologies to people that we didn't get any further through it. However, this
Indeed.
does feel like one we're going to have another go at soon and hope for the best.
Yeah, I think we should come swiftly back to this one.
Yeah.
I feel as though a grudge has been formed.
Yes. A gauntlet has been thrown
Mm.
by Sir Ian Livingstone, though he doesn't put the Sir on the book cover. It just says Ian Livingstone.
I mean, that would just be rubbing salt in the wound at this point, wouldn't it?
It probably would, yes. Yes, but Sir Ian Livingstone has bested us on this occasion, and I believe I'm right in saying on every other occasion that we have taken on one of his adventures.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yes, we beat a Steve Jackson one, which was the American Steve Jackson, not the British Steve Jackson,
Yeah,
and we beat the Cretan Chronicles, but that was written by somebody else.
indeed.
Yes. Right. Well, thank you very much, Ewan. It's been short,
Thank you,
but it's
Ben.
been fun.
It's been a pleasure.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening and participating in chat and being friendly and nice and all of the things that you are week in, week out. If you caught it live, that's great. If you caught it on VOD, sorry.
Go find something else to watch to kill your time.
Yes, Luke. Yes. Yes. Feel free.
Oh, Luke's still here for once.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even last long enough for Luke to decide it was time to go to bed. My football team is currently enduring a terrible run of results, but I think they would they would probably look at us and go, "Oh no."
The slow shaking of the head.
Yeah, just pure sadness. Yes, it's I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one.
Right. So, thank you very much, Ewan. Thank you, everybody, except Luke, who's mocking us. But yes, thank you, everybody, indeed. And we'll catch you next time. Good night.
Good night.